Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. My name is Sean. This is UCM Pigs Moto Vlogs, and today I got a question for you. Has Harley Davidson screwed the pooch? Before we get started, let me remind you to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always on my channel, if you don't feel like typing words, just leave me an emoji. Let me know you're here. I greatly appreciate that. So what brought this about today was I was watching some YouTube, and I kind of fell into a YouTube hole. My friend Eric from Kraken's Garage posted a really good video today about Harley Davidson and their decision to partner with Anheuser-Busch and put their logo on a Budweiser beer can. Eric brings up some excellent points in this video. If you guys haven't checked it out, I'll link it. And the main point is, should we even be, promoting alcohol in motorcycles? A large percentage of people die in alcohol-related motorcycle deaths every year. But, I get it. This has kind of been a tradition with Harley Davidson, and I'm a sucker for tradition. They've produced many beers throughout the years. They've branded their own beer. But the big thing is picking Budweiser. Was that a smart choice? Unless you live under a rock, Budweiser's having some problems right now because of a decision they made to put a certain person's face on a can. I'm not going to go into detail on that because I try to stay away from politics, and I think it is politically charged on my channel. But they're suffering from this decision. So is this going to be detrimental to Harley Davidson for partnering with Budweiser? Another video I watched today was from the Determined Veteran. He puts a pretty interesting spin on it, and we'll talk about his spin in just a few minutes. But here's my thoughts on this. As I mentioned, I'm all about tradition, and that's one of the things I love about owning a Harley Davidson, because it is an iconic American motorcycle, and it goes back to a lot of tradition and a lot of things that I like about riding motorcycles. So is this decision going to make us go belly up? Is this going to jeopardize my ability to have Harley Davidson in the future? Is this the nail in the coffin for Harley Davidson? I'm pretty excited about what Harley Davidson is doing this year. It seems like they're finally starting to listen to their customer base. They are modernizing their motorcycles with the announcement of the new CVO line. I'm super stoked about that. I'm really excited to see those bikes. I've never purchased a brand new Harley Davidson, but I'm going to tell you what, that's pretty tempting. We may just have to see if the economy gets a little better. I might be tempted to pull the trigger on that. I don't know. My wife may have something to say about that. But I've never purchased a brand new Harley Davidson. I've always purchased used. So honestly, if the company was to go belly up, my bike's a 2016. It's in really good shape, and one thing wonderful about Harley Davidson is there are plenty of aftermarket parts out there that you could pretty much build one of these from aftermarket parts. So I think I could keep it on the road for many years to come. And because of the large following of people that ride Harley Davidsons, there's a lot of bikes out there, and I think there will be continued to be a lot of used bikes. So I'm not too much worried about me being able to ride a Harley Davidson, but I am worried about, the support and the company. You don't want to see a company go under. And that goes back to Determined Veterans point. We start talking about boycotting things. Something that a lot of people may or may not think about is that has a pretty big impact on the blue collar worker. They're the person that are going to feel that first, and I would hate to see a lot of Americans out of a job over something silly as this. I mean, it's politically driven, and I just don't think it's fair to make them suffer for it. And I really liked his point about that. I mean, when we boycott things, we have to really think about that. I mean, if you're that passionate about something, I'm not telling you not to be passionate about something you believe in. If you believe something is right, I wholeheartedly agree you should stand your ground. There's things in this world that I do and do not do for those reasons. I'm going to get political here. I apologize. For example, during COVID, I wasn't crazy about being forced to wear a mask all the time, but businesses made that choice, and that was their right as a business to take the recommendations and require their customers to wear a mask. So it's kind of the no shirt, no shoes, no service thing. But it wasn't the guy's fault at the door. It wasn't the guy's fault at the door asking me to put a mask on for that. So there was no point in me getting mad at them, and I did not, because they're just doing their job. They're just trying to collect a paycheck so they can go home and put food on the table, just like I've done for the last 30 years. There's a lot of things in my career I wasn't too crazy about doing, but I did them, because one thing about the military, we are taught, you obey the orders and you don't question them, you just do it. And sometimes we have to do things that we don't want to do, but we do it, or we go find employment elsewhere. So that's something to think about there when it comes down to boycotting. You know, just think about that for a moment. Is it really worth it? So another point I want to bring up is this going to have the same impact as it did on Budweiser? You know, we're talking about a beer company and a motorcycle company. You know, I don't drink Budweiser, so it really doesn't impact me either way. I didn't drink it before, I don't drink it now. Now, have I ever drank a Budweiser? Yes. Will I drink a Budweiser again? Yes. And here's why. We go places from time to time, and that's all they have. And if I want a cold beer, I'm going to drink a Budweiser if that's all they got. Not my first choice, but that's what I'm going to drink. And I think a lot of these chest-beating, hardcore Harley Davidson, you know, anti-woke people, when they show up to the Harley Davidson 120th, they're going to be walking around thirsty, because I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of Budweiser products there. But I'm not trying to poke fun. I just think it's going to be a fact. So I am trying to poke fun. So, you know, my point is, you know, it's a beer company. If I don't like Budweiser, there's a whole lot of other beer out there that I could choose from. And I'm going to be honest with you, if this happened to a beer that I really liked, I don't think I would stop drinking it, because I like what I like. I just don't see it that way. But the reason why I don't think it's going to have that big of an impact on Harley Davidson is because there's only really two American-made motorcycle companies out there, and that's Harley Davidson and Indian Motorcycles. And I know we can debate the whole American-made thing, but it is what it is. So it's not like I have a lot of choice here, and it's also a price thing. I mean, me changing beer brands, little impact on me. Look at this plane up here. We're doing touch and goes tonight. Little impact on me for changing beer brands. Not really going to hit me in the pocketbook too much. If I have to change motorcycle brands, that could be a pinch to my pocketbook. I got a lot of money invested in this motorcycle. I got a lot of money invested in Harley Davidson gear, t-shirts, hats, and all that stuff. A lot bigger of an impact. So I don't think people are going to be as drastic when it comes to Harley Davidson. I don't think we need to really worry about the MoCo going away. Again, in my opinion, I think they're making some good decisions. I think it's going to take a little time for those to catch up. I mean, right now, everybody's hurting. I don't think any company's doing really well. We're still recovering from the last, 3 or 4 years. So I think some of these changes need to get a little runtime. I know in the military, we base everything off runtime. So I think if we give it a little runtime on some of these decisions they've made, let this new release of CVO come out, see what that does to the rest of the line underneath the CVO, see if they have some changes to the rest of the baggers and what that does for the company. As far as these paint jobs and stuff they're doing, I mean, I dig it. I kind of like the Fast Johnny. I can get behind that. I like the way that bike looks. I really like the Icon series. I like the Highway King. I really dig that. I'm a Road King fan, and I like that. And I'm really looking forward to the day we see the Sportster Icon. I think it's coming. So that's my thought on this whole Harley Davidson Budweiser debacle. I mean, it's just my opinion. Take it for whatever it's worth. There's a lot of other people out there that have done a lot more research than me, than crunched some numbers, but you know what? I just call it like I see it. I think we're going to be okay. I think the MoCo is going to be okay. I think those of us that love Harley Davidson are going to continue to ride Harley Davidson and support Harley Davidson, regardless of some poor marketing decisions they may have made. It's a simple fix. They can fix this really quick. But again, I'm not a marketing major. I don't know what they're doing. So until we talk again, you guys be careful. You guys be safe. Always keep your shiny side up. And we'll talk to you next time.